Okay, so we're just giving people a little time to come in. Make sure that you are smashing that notification bell. You can also share this live if you like, or tag a few people that you think this would be good for. And don't be shy, because this is a place to discuss things. You don't have to be a veteran to really have input, because I learn from people every day in the lives and in life. So this is not a place where if you're not seasoned, you can't speak up. This is a place to kind of get the discussion going, to kind of get the mind brewing, so we can all make money in the beauty industry, okay? And you can invite people or share with people who may not necessarily be nail techs, because this is anyone in the beauty industry or for an entrepreneur overall. So just sit back and we'll come on soon. Thanks for your support. This track is so funny to me. I just had to throw it in because the emotions be running high, honey. But I'm coming soon. Just hold on. Just giving people time to come on in. Get what you need to get. We're starting soon. Oh my God. Hello, 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 hello. Where am I positioning this? Right here. Wait. You know, this is my little Five Below stand. Does that make sense? Let's see. Wait. Hold on. What I'm gonna do, see, I'm looking at comments too, so it's just like, if I'm looking off to the side, please forgive me. If I sit back like this, I only have so much space here, right? I think that's good. How is everyone doing today? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hi. So if I'm looking off, I know that's annoying for some people, but sorry. Sorry. Okay, Call Me Sally says she is so excited for this, and she hopes that everyone is having a great evening. Hello to you. We have Jasmine Devereaux. Hello. I love that last name, Devereaux. It's French, right? Hello, Madam Gracie. How are you? Minding Minds. We have our moderator, lovely moderator here. Minding Minds. Please keep a lookout because there have been some people coming into the lives that you'll notice the comments are really weird and they make no sense and they don't refer to anything. Feel free to delete them, please. Thank you. This mistake. Hey, how are you? Hey, Marlene, how are you? How are you? How are you? Poison Polish. Hi, we got a lot of the old school people here. How are you today? I'm doing okay. It is really cold here. And I feel like I want to come down with something, but I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it off. Trying to make sure that you brighten this up a little bit. Trying to make sure that I'm staying hydrated and everything. Yeah, that's a little better. And also I ordered some, what is that? Everybody's been talking about this sea moss. So I ordered some sea moss from Amazon, top rated sea moss. So we shall see what all the hoopla is about. Whatever I can take to keep myself, my immune system and everything boosted as much as possible. So how is everyone doing? I know everyone has been waiting for this subject here. How do beauty professionals retire? Because I think that is something that is on everyone's mind. I think that's part of the fear. I get it. That is part of the reason why I have gone in and out of corporate. And here I am in my 40s. I can go in corporate right now and make six figures in the door plus bonus. It's not a problem, but I just can't do it. I don't like working for people. It's not, I feel like, let me see something. Okay, I'll look straight ahead. It's not, I'm trying to figure out how the cameras, because I'm on my phone. It's not really who I am, and I don't want to be unhappy. And one thing I will tell you is that I think that people are waiting for me to say something magical. And I said it in the video that I posted last week just to get your mind thinking, and you can ask any questions that you have tonight because there is no magical answer. It depends on specific situations. What I would like to see tonight is that I'm not doing all of the talking. What I would like for people to do is to tell me where they are specifically in their life. Just, like even in one sentence, employed, married, want to do nails or whatever. Those things matter. Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? Do you have your own place? Like what age you are, like things like that. And I can give you scenarios on how you would kind of look towards building your retirement. Now, if you don't know, I will tell you this, and I'm not saying this is a plug, but I am, that's what we do. But for real, that is in this book. Actually, week four gets you into this already, because week 4 is about career paths and things like that. So week 4 is other business and marketing stuff. And so in week 4 of the book, it talks about ways to make money, how to price, career paths, different things like that, and other things that you need to be taken care of as a professional in the industry. And part of it would be, things on how to set up yourself on paper so that you are okay. Okay. So I want people to talk, and we can talk through it, and then you could be helping someone else who's on the live or someone who watches this video in the future, because the truth is there is no one answer. What I will do, I'll start out with telling you my journey and what my plan is, and then we could discuss some other scenarios, but I'm going to throw some examples to explain where I want your mind to be going to retire. Let's see. I appreciate your business mind. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. I am so grateful. No, thank you for supporting the channel and coming and listening. I'm really humbled that people actually value what I have to say, because I'm just speaking my mind. I'm not saying it's the Bible. It's just my opinion and what I've been through. And I've had enough experience to pretty much kind of say what I'm saying is true, but it's just my experience, Okay. So we have an employed an assistant at a hair salon, single, 30. Okay. Single 30. Okay. So let me first start out with my situation. So I've been doing nails since I was 12 years old. I've been doing nails since I was a little kid, like 5, 6. I used to play, I told you, with the Elmer's glue and all that. I started making money doing nails when I was 12 years old. I'm giving people a chance to put up their situations, that we can just kind of go into. I started making money when I was 12, meaning I was in grammar school, yes, in grammar school, and I was making money doing the teachers. I would do the principal. I even had my grandmother bought me a caboodle kit, and I started doing people in the neighborhood. Like, it literally became a source of income for me at the age of 12. Like literally, I'll be walking up the block, like, I'll be over there in a minute, Miss Jefferson. I got to go over here and do my friend Sherry. And I will literally be going to the block. I remember these people, Miss Jefferson. I had to do, I can't think of her name, but I had to do like 5 people on the block, the people at school, then my grandmother's friends, just it became a business at the age of 12. So in high school, I never really had to work a job like everybody else. I did work for Ticketmaster for a minute, but I was able to do nails, and nails was supporting me throughout high school, pretty much. I had a job, but nails, I didn't really have to. I think I just wasn't taking it like, oh, this is something. It was just something I did because I was good at it and I became popular, and, that was that. So after I graduated high school, I moved right into a salon. Like, literally graduated on Wednesday, moved into a salon Saturday. I think if you watch my channel, you know that story. I made so much money on my first day. I was afraid to move into the salon because the booth rent was $50, and I didn't think I would make the $50. So I farted around on my first day going, because I was really low-key nervous. So I farted around. I didn't even get there till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And that first day there, I made like $200 and something. So I made my entire month. I made my entire month's booth rent in one day, and I was worried about it. So I stayed there for a couple of years, and I ended up moving around. Then state board came about and started saying you need to have a license, because back then nobody cared about a license. But this is when the discount salons started coming on the scene, and state board started cracking down because they were giving people flesh-eating bacteria and things like that. And it was stories were coming up on 2020, all of that. So it put a spotlight on what I was doing. And so what happened was salon owners became afraid to just let nail techs come in their place all willy-nilly. Because back then, hairstylists had a license, barbers had their license, but nail techs, no one really cared if nail techs had a license. It wasn't really a thing. Because, see, I've been doing this since before the Asian folks came to, and I'm just going to say what it is. Before the Asian salons came on the scene in the United States, I had already been doing nails for years. So when they came on the scene, it drew some bad attention to us. So at that time, how did that go? I ended up working. So then I said, okay, I need to go get a job, because I was also in college. So that's when I started bouncing into corporate. Okay. I got my bachelor's degree, and I had a slew of jobs, all these, decent jobs as a manager for Walgreens. I used to be a manager. I used to work for a publishing company as a production assistant. So my name was in print every month in the masthead. I just a lot of wonderful opportunities. And then in between that time, every time a job would get on my nerves, because I noticed the pattern that I cannot work a job more than 2 years. I literally started having anxiety. I'm unhappy. I'm depressed. I don't even care how much the job was paying. Like, I remember working at the publishing company. Back then, I was making like $27,000 a year. And that was a very, very decent salary to be making back then. Okay. I had a Camaro. I was doing a darn thing, but I was not happy. So I kept bouncing in and out of salons, into a job, into a salon, into a job, into a salon. Then I ended up opening my first big salon. Trying to make this story short, because it's like a 30-year history here. But I ended up saying, you know what? I want to open a big salon. So I'm going to go work for the best, and I'm going to see how they do things, because I want a high-end big salon. So I went and I worked for the best in the area, which was Mario Tricoci, Elizabeth Arden. And so I finally got in, because it was really hard to get in with Elizabeth. They didn't just take anyone. It was only so many slots, okay? And I finally got in. I was one of the very few people that, few Black women working there. At one point, I was the only Black woman working there, and worked there for a year. I had a contract. So I stayed there for a year. During that time, I studied how they did things. I learned the business on another level, because that's what I aspired to do. And I I opened my own place. So when my contract, literally, like, let's say my contract ended May 12th, I put in my notice like 2 weeks before May 12th, like May 12th would be my last day. Because what happened was, if you did not do that, they could charge you. So if you left before your contract was up, you were charged for the training that they gave you. So, this industry, something, I tell you. During that time, I've also worked for agencies. I've worked with the NBA, Dwayne Wade, all those people, Antoine Walker, just through different things. So I had a lot of experience up under my belt. I ended up opening up my huge salon right outside the Gold Coast area of Chicago. So, like, they call it West Town. So it's right outside of downtown. So it's like a pretty decent area. A lot of yuppies and buppies, people who have a lot of disposable income. The business was doing great. I don't know why I feel some type of way just telling this whole story. Like, I've been through a lot. So we're going to get into it, but I opened this salon. I took all the money I had, a lot of money. That's why I did the $20,000 let's open a salon thing. If you open a salon $20,000, it's going to be like very bare minimum. And whatever. So I spent all this money opening the salon. And as soon as I opened it, like after the first year, the economy crashed. The economy completely crashed. All of my high-end clientele that I was making all this great money from lost their jobs, disappeared. And I was forced to make some rough decisions because I have a staff that's looking at me like, we need to eat. So I ended up getting on with Groupon. My salon was one of the first ones in Chicago to sign up for Groupon back then when it was new. Many people didn't know about it. The Groupon I thought was a blessing because I didn't know how well it would perform, but the Groupon made over $100,000 in one day in sales. And I thought that was like the best thing ever. But what it ended up doing was making my business tumble into the ground because there was too many people. They should have had a cap on the number of people they allowed to buy it, but they allowed over 5,000 people. To this very day, that pisses me off because it was like my business was like a test dummy, But anyway, so basically my business ran into the ground because of this Groupon. We were overwhelmed, understaffed. We can only do so many people per day, whatever. That was a nightmare. Went through that, but the economy had crashed. So literally it was just a totally different beast. None of our regular clientele could get in because of all these damn Groupons trying to get in. So I became so stressed. Like, you all do not know. I had a freaking seizure. So when people tell me that they can't do it, they got excuses, I'm like, I done been through everything you can imagine to make my dreams come true. And let's not forget, at any time, I could have went back and got a job making very good money. Okay? So I decided that I didn't really want to deal with that. I was going to move to Atlanta. I sold the business. I moved to Atlanta and I did what? I was finishing up school. So I went back to school because that's what we do when we're afraid. We go back to what society tells us to do, even though we know that's not what we want to do. We do what society tells us to do because it's supposed to be safe. I'm trying to turn up this light a little bit more. Doggone it. We do what society tells us to do because that's the safest route. And so when things like that happen, you freak out. And I went back and I got my MBA. I finished up my MBA in Atlanta. And what did I do? I went and I got a job in the hair care industry. I'm trying to look around and see if there's some products around here. So a lot of the products that you see, I've had my hands on in one way or another. It was a great experience because it taught me, and I'm going somewhere with all this, it taught me a lot about product development. It taught me a lot about how to set up trade shows, how to get products in stores. I was flying around with sales teams. I met a lot of celebrities. I worked with everybody you can imagine, all the people off of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta. I worked with Keisha Knight Pulliam from Bill Cosby, like Little Rudy. Worked with her, just to give you some names here. Waka Flocka, all of them. Like I've worked with all of them on different campaigns and different things like that. Just being in the hair care industry as a brand manager, flew all around the country, getting products on shelf, creating new products from scratch. Literally, like we need to create a cream, and I'll design it and sit down with the graphic designer. Blah 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 blah. I'm saying all that to say I was back in corporate, but I was still developing my skills on that end because my background and my MBA was in marketing. So my BA is a business administration degree. My MBA has a concentration of marketing. So I stayed there for 2 years. The owner of the company, he fell sick and sold the company. So they sold out of state. I didn't want to do that. I was freaked out. Like, what should I do? Oh my God, I don't want to move back home. What should I do? My friend said, oh, you can come live here. You can come live here with me in North Carolina. So I moved with her. Let me do this because I don't want them to get me. In North Carolina for a couple of months, saying, oh, you can get a job. My degree was not going to work in North Carolina in that part of like Raleigh because everything over there is like education and tech. And my background was in consumer packaged goods, meaning things that go on shelf. So, matter of fact, this is the company. This is the company. See, this is one of the products that I used to work for in Atlanta, but they're here in Chicago now. Anyway, stayed there for 4 months, came back, got a job as a brand manager for Newell Rubbermaid. So I used to work for Newell Rubbermaid as well as a brand manager. Newell Rubbermaid has like Tupperware. They own Dymo, like the labelers. A lot of people don't know they own Goody, like the hip, these sort of things. They own all of those companies. And now they're Newell brands. They own like over 50 brands last time I checked. So I was actually a brand manager for Newell Rubbermaid. I had an assistant, all that good stuff. But I still was not happy, making very good money, unhappy. So I was there as a contractor. They extended my contract a few years, and I hope I'm not boring you with my life story. I'm trying to give you everything I've been through in a nutshell. Once my contract finally ended, I said, what am I going to do? Atlanta was not it for me. So I decided to move back home. And that's when I decided that all these years later, in my late 30s, that I cannot work for anyone because making this money, having all these great experiences and all of that, I was just not happy because it's not really money that makes people happy. People think money makes them happy, but doing what you want to do or working within your purpose on this earth is what makes you happy, right? And so I came back here, and if you watch my channel, you already heard a lot of this, but long story short, I came back here with a little bit of money. And I did not, I went on a job interview or two, but I flubbed them on purpose because I remember it's funny. This right here, everybody knows about this hair glue. This hair glue is now owned by a company called Universal Beauty Products. This company bought my company in Atlanta. So they offered me a job, but I would have had to move back to Chicago. So I would have been managing this brand maybe. I declined the offer. I didn't want it. But when I got back to Chicago, somebody was like, oh, you should try Universal. They looking for people and you used to manage the brands. You'd be perfect. I kid you all not. When I moved back here, being scared and not believing in myself, I went on the interview. They called me right away. Come on in, Miss Savage. I went in that interview and I flubbed it. It was to the point where I just stopped. I just shut down in the interview. I shut down in the interview because I knew I could not go through this again. I knew I could not put myself. I started freaking out, you all. Like when I walked in that building, I would have been the perfect candidate for that job. I literally used to manage the brands that this company bought. Okay. I'm perfect. I could come in and just take over. Boom, just take off. I walked in there. I started having anxiety. As soon as I walked into the office building, I started having anxiety. You know why? Because when I walked in, it was a receptionist desk, and I saw this big old room over here with cubicles. And cubicles give me anxiety because I know what it's like to sit in a cubicle at a desk for 8, 10, 12 hours on conference call after conference call after conference call with people talking and ain't saying nothing, ain't saying shit. Everybody's sitting around trying to sound more intelligent and like they're doing so much and they're doing nothing. It was just a complete waste of my time. That's how I felt. So when I saw those cubicles when I walked in, I had anxiety. And when I went into that interview, I knew I could not go through that again. So I didn't even follow up on that. I didn't get the job and I didn't follow up on it. I went on another interview with another hair care company. Same thing. They put me through all these rounds of interviews. I had to talk to all these people all day. And towards the end, I was like, oh my God, I've only been here what, 2 hours, and I'm exhausted and ready to go. And I had to talk to like 5 different people. And I'm like, damn, what time is it? Talking to these people saying the same thing over and over and, whatever. I cannot sit in the office talking to people about nothing or just like repeating the same thing, just trying to pass time. I flooded that interview. I didn't even care. I could have gotten both of those jobs if I would have really wanted it. So anyway, at that point, when I came out, I said, you know what? You don't need a job. You are talented enough. You have enough experience in so many different areas. Let that be your backup plan. Believe in yourself and go out and do what you want to do and don't look back. And so what I did was I started doing Uber, and I went and rented a space, y'all. All this happened very fast. Like all that happened within like, I want to say a few weeks, my first month of being back in Chicago after being gone for like 5 years. I did all that in the first month. I said, screw all these jobs. Ripped up the resume, boom. I started doing Uber. Let me sign back up for Uber and let me start Ubering. And I went and rented a commercial space and started my business from scratch here in Chicago. Some of my old clients found me, but really, I built my business again from scratch and got all new clients that I still have to this very day. They came from when I first moved back here and built them from scratch from my social media, being consistent. And that's my new set of clientele that I work from to this very day. If you put in the work up front and get the right clients, they will be with you for the long term. So I say all that. That was a lot, right? Whew, I was just trying to keep my life in a nutshell to how I ended up here. Because now it's been 16, 22, oh my God, 6 years I've been back here. And I did Uber for like maybe 7 months, and I never had to really do it again. And one time I tried to go out and do it just to get a little extra money. And I was like, I turned the app off and went back in the house because I did my work. I did what I was supposed to do, and I no longer needed it. But making it over that hurdle is where the problem comes in, because a lot of people get freaked out and afraid and scared when things become uncomfortable. And if you can make it over that hurdle, then there's always, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, there's always light on the other side. Did you hear me? So I'm going to read some comments, and before we get into it, I'm going to read these comments and then I'm going to tell you something. So, oh, good. We got some feedback here. We have Madam Gracie, employed assistant at a salon, hair salon, single, age 30. See if you're giving me some more information. My contract in my hair salon is 2 years. Oh, see, you were under contract too. Okay. You said you're in the same contract, but yours is 2 years. So help me God. And when you have salons that put you under a contract, that means that they have invested in you in some sort of way, because usually when you have salons that have a contract, that's because they have a certain way of doing things. And they literally will train you and say, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. They're bringing you, they've invested in you. So if you walk away, this is to keep people from coming in, soaking up their knowledge, soaking up their education, soaking up their training, and going somewhere else. So they usually put you under a contract too. So yeah. So Madam Gracie, how long did you say you've been doing this? How long? How long have you been doing nails? Because see, what happened is you say you were employed as an assistant, at a salon. What you don't realize is that I told that long story to tell you that every piece of your journey is helping you to prepare for retirement. Every piece of your journey is helping you to prepare for retirement, because you're going, oh, help me God, I'm an assistant right now and I'm under a 2-year contract. Everybody wants to get to the finish line right away. Everything that you're learning as an assistant, you look back in 2 years and now you have an assistant under you. Or this is your experience that you need to elevate to the next level for when you open your high-end place, you know exactly how it runs on the bare bones level. See, if you you ever seen a person that opens a salon and never did hair, never did it in their life? They just got some money and just open a salon, and the salon is a hot mess. It's hot garbage. It's unorganized. It's not successful because they have no experience in it. They just got some money and just opened some crap because they had the money to do it. you will outlast that person because you may not have the money to run out and do it today, but you are gaining little snippets of experience, and it takes time to build up. We don't see the big picture right away. That's the thing. Everybody doesn't want to make any real life changes unless they know how every detail is going to play out, how everything is going to be before they do it. And the truth of the matter is simply this: that is not how it happens for successful people. So I'm not saying you per se. I wanted to thank you for participating too. Let me clarify. I'm not saying you per se. I'm saying like most people are afraid because they don't know how it's going to turn out. So you're even looking now, probably some days like, what am I doing here? This is not the plan. Well, I'm going to tell you, it was not my plan either to be sitting up in those offices doing all this, sitting in all these boring meetings and working for New Rubbermaid, talking about labelers. Like literally the brand that I managed for Rubbermaid was Dymo, the labeler. I managed that brand for like 2.5 years on a special assignment. It was the most boring job ever. Can you imagine sitting up talking about labelers and all the different type of labelers and all the type of cartridges that go inside of labelers and having 15, 20-minute meetings a day about labels? Like, how much can we talk about labels? I could not see it at that point. It was just like, why am I here? But guess what? That played a part with me right now in the expertise area because I understand supply chain on a whole nother level. I understand how engineering goes on so many different levels. I understand how to organize things on a large scale. You get it? So every little thing that we go through in life is building up to something. It's just like, are you staying consistent and doing what you're supposed to do? Have you written out your plan? Have you seriously written out your plan and figured out where you're trying to go, and that you're placing yourself and grabbing everything you need to know from every opportunity? So if you're doing that right now, you've been doing, under a year doing nails. If you see, I already knew before I saw this. You said they are giving me $3,000 in free education. That's why they put you under contract, because they've invested into you. And so you have to pay them back that way. That's how that goes. I didn't even see that comment. And you said you've only been doing nails under a year. So you are still new on your journey. This is a good thing because you will have experience professional. See, if somebody's giving you that much training and putting you under contract, you're getting real professional experience from people who know how it goes. So it may not seem like anything to you now, but as you start doing nails on your own, you'll be way ahead of the next person. And you could go into being on your own and you'll rock it faster than the person who just is good. Because the person who is just good and naturally talented, they don't have that business acumen of how things really run on the level to have longevity. You get what I'm saying? So thank you for giving me that. I'm going to move around to some of the other ones because I know it's a few here, but and we could come back to it too, because I tie things together. But I just want to explain a few things. Let's go over this, shall we? Okay, so I just wrote down a few things really quickly off the top of my head, just to give you an example of where I'm trying to get your mind flowing in terms of how do I retire? Like, how would all of this end if I decided to do this full time, like really go forward? You have to look at people who are successful. And if you look and see where they came from, you'll see that they had to crawl before they walked, right? So I'm going to take Halle Berry. Halle Berry. Now, we all know that Halle Berry is an actress, right? So I'm sure Halle Berry has had some roles that probably never even made it to the big screen. Halle Berry has probably been someone's assistant at some point. Halle Berry has probably had some points where she wasn't getting called, or you never know. Like she's been through a lot in the industry. We don't have to go into specifics. I'm just using Halle Berry because everybody pretty much knows her, right? But just recently on Netflix, and I don't think this is her first movie, Halle Berry is now doing what? She's doing some directing. And so Halle Berry realizes that she is getting older, and the role she normally is cast for, she will not be cast for that because she's at an age where she's aging well, but I'm saying like she can't play the same role as she played when she was 25, now that she's 40, whatever she is, 50, however old she is. So what she's doing is she's strategically placing herself in the industry, but using all of her little expertise and things that she has learned along the way that a lot of you all don't think much of. She's using that to direct. So now she's still creating an income source by putting her name on these same movies. Aha, aha, aha. She's placing her name on the movies in the directors as a director, because now she still gets those royalties and all those things. And so even though that movie was just on Netflix, think about what I'm trying to tell you strategically. Even though it's just on Netflix, if she keeps doing that, she's 50 now, right? So even if she keeps doing that, she's still acting over here. So compare this to a beauty professional. You're still doing your clientele, but when you get up to a certain age, you should strategically be trying to place your hands on other areas of the industry that you have picked up and learned along the way. That is my whole point. So Holly Berry is doing that. And if she keeps doing it, by the time she's 60, she can be a director or doing something big on the back end of a major motion film. You get it? But that's something that you strategically have to get to. It doesn't happen overnight, but you'd be surprised if you stay in the industry, you start to pick up so many different things. So how could Holly Berry, who is just an actress, she's just an actress, so how could she pick up and become a director? Because when you're on set, just like you, Madam Gracie, as you're an assistant, you don't realize it, but you're absorbing. If they have you scrubbing towels or washing towels and wiping things down, you think that's all you're doing. But what you're doing is you're picking up different things. You're learning about inventory, right? I'm sure you are. You know, when things get to a certain level, you need to go do this. You know, when certain things happen, you need to go do that. And really what you don't realize is that you're learning what? Can somebody give me this answer? What is she learning and she doesn't realize it? Oh, shoot. Let me plug in this phone before it dies. No one gave me an answer. Madam Gracie, believe it or not, you are learning management skills, inventory management. You're learning management. Whatever task that you have to do as a salon assistant, you are learning. Okay, here we go. Yep. You're learning how the business is run. Definitely. Hi, Tara Toodles. Experience, you're getting experience, you're learning how the business is run, and managerial skills. Exactly. You don't even realize it. You're picking up managerial skills. It may be on this level, but you will be more prepared than the person who just came in and said, I had $100,000. I'm gonna own a salon, never did a day in their life. They would hire you and pay you to run it because you've done your groundwork. Okay. So you don't see how all of this plays out right now. We just have to be consistent and live in the moment and figure out what it is that we're learning in the moment, because it's a cumulative thing. Okay. Anything you do in life is cumulative. If you want to move up the ranks, it doesn't happen like straight up. It never happens like that. It's a progression, right? So you're just at the beginning of your progression. And you never know where you think it's going to take you, because you may think you're doing nails now, but you'll be surprised when it's all said and done. You may be a person who has started a polish line or something. You just never know which way it's going to take you. So just keep that in mind. What you can start doing in this position too is start asking for additional. If you haven't and you feel like it's nothing to you, start asking for additional responsibilities and things like that. And you could just ask if you can do one person a week. Just try to move. If it's boring to you or you feel like, just talk to whoever you report to and ask them, how can you elevate yourself while you're in this position? You're so grateful for it. So what can I do to kind of make sure I'm getting the most out of it? So I'm going to go to someone else really quick. Let's see. Because everyone's in a different position. And so you're employed at yeah, and then you have the income. So that's actually a good thing because I'm sure they're probably paying you an hourly salary. So just write it out for now. Learn every little thing you can because while you think it's nothing, it's something. You just don't see how it all comes together. But it's something. Okay. So I'm going to go to someone else. And these are just different examples because, like I said, it's always everybody's at a different place in life. And so it just really depends. Let's move to someone else. Employed with COVID. Employed with COVID job, beginner nail tech, hard to find salon that's hiring, 35 years old, single. Okay. Okay. See, to me, this is a totally different situation. Let me see. Call me Sally. So just seeing if there's anything else that I'm missing. Okay. So employed with COVID job, beginner nail tech, hard to find salon that is hiring, 35 years old, single. Okay, so for you, if this is something that you want to do long term and you're at that age, 35 is like when you really want to start cranking down on whatever it is that's about to happen from here on out, right? And so at 35, you really, really have to be serious. And first off, I would ask nail tech, are you a natural nail tech? Are you an acrylic specialist? This is what we talk about here. A nail tech, just like a hairstylist, can be broad because I am an acrylic specialist. I do natural nails and gel and all of that, but I know I have kind of narrowed down what I want to do. At this age, if you're going to come into this and say, this is what I'm going to stick with, what you don't want to do is come in just doing whatever is thrown your way. So then you got to go back and look at some of the other videos because you really want to figure out what do I want to do because you have to start hardcore on your branding right away. And if no one is going to hire you right now, you can start doing your business from home or even mobile, but even from home right now. Just be careful with COVID and everything, but you would have to really start now figuring out like, how do you want to put yourself out into the world? Like, how are you branding yourself? What does your social media look like? Who are you targeting? Who are you targeting? You want to do younger people's nails, older people's nails? Like, what do you want to do? Because you don't really want to waste too much time playing around on different people's nails. You know, like you might start getting a few young girls with these long, nails like this, and it's like you don't really like it. It's too much. It's overwhelming for you, and you don't want to wait 8 months or waste 8 months figuring out that you don't like that. So I would say the first thing is figure out what it is that you're really good at and the type of clientele that you want to have for the long haul. For the long haul, meaning that this is the type of client that I want coming to me for 10, 15 years, and so that is the first thing. And you said you are single. That the reason why I ask if people are single or not is because when you are married, you have an additional income source that can kind of float you through hard times. So if you are paying your own bills and you are single and you are at the age trying to come into the industry, that might be one of the hard things that keeps a lot of people at that age range from doing it, because you might have to go through a period like a year or so doing something that you don't want to do. I will tell you right now, during COVID, everybody is looking for a delivery driver. See, people don't want to hear this, but I'm the person that will go do it. Amazon is hiring, like Instacart is hiring like crazy because everybody's having stuff delivered. And so if you really want to go hard in the paint, then you would have to figure out what your branding is going to look like. Get on top of the social media immediately and have a plan and be very, very consistent. It's all in here, but like very consistent in how you do it. And then whatever to make money, you're going to have to push it to probably something you can do around doing nails. Like if you want to do nails or whoever in the beauty industry, whatever it is you want to do, you have to literally sacrifice your comfort and tailor whatever you're going to make money to survive today around nails. You can't expect to blow up in it if you're trying to do the nails or the makeup or whatever in your spare time. At this age, you have to really just say, let me just pull up my sleeves and do what I got to do for a year. Like that's going to be your strategy at 35 years old, single, because you are responsible for you. So yeah, it's going to be probably hard right now because salons and a lot of places like that are not hiring because people are kind of like not coming outside. So really, you might have to just grind it out on your own and build your own clientele by yourself. Or if you have a friend or two who does hair or something like that, you can get together and get a suite and just grind it out and split the bills like that if your house is not set up to do that. So that's pretty much what you would have to do, my opinion, right now. So I hope that this is helpful. I want to. Okay. Poised and Polished, single, 24. Just signed a lease on my own private salon space. Oh, yeah. After 5 years of different salon experiences. Okay, so it looks like you're on the right track, right? See, some of us, we're not thinking about retirement because of age or whatever. So you're on the other end of the spectrum because you're 24. You're at that age where you can still kind of play around and figure out what your expertise is. You have some experience up under your belt because you've been in different salons. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, you know what you would do differently, and you are now in a position to do so. And so what I would do is, if you have not already, which I'm sure you probably have because you've been watching, you need to really, really, really make sure that you are just consistent with your marketing, super consistent to the point where you are booked. Like if I really go hard with my marketing, when I really was doing it, I was booked out. Like you could not get in. Like, oh, not this week. Oh, they knew at the height of when I was really promoting myself, you had to come in and book. People will come and book their next appointment before they leave because they know that my books were filling up like weeks in advance. And so that should be your main goal right now, is to really just go hard and really perfect your craft. Perfect it. Because at the age of 24, you are in money making mode. Your body is in optimal shape. Your attention span is all, is there. And so right now you should just be a money making machine. Anybody in the beauty industry at your age should be a money making machine. Like that should be your goal. Making sure your books are jam packed to capacity. You should be doing social media all day long. You should be flooding your timeline with different things like every 2 to 3 hours. Like you should be just getting on people's nerves and playing around with your hashtags and all that stuff, and just making sure that you're on every social media outlet there is. You should be on TikTok, you should be on Snap, you should be on even Facebook, you should be on Instagram, you should be everywhere with a booking system. Make sure that you are ready to capture every person who's interested. You should be grabbing them from everywhere, because your goal right now is not necessarily retirement. Your goal right now is grind mode, because what it's going to do is you're going to become an expert in what you do. And then after so many years, if you start to become tired, then you'll have so much expertise. The other ideas will come to you on what to do next. So it may be starting your own product line. It may be that you're going to start teaching classes. You'll start to branch out. So you in particular are in the right position at the right age. And so you're in a good position to just grind it out. That is my advice for you, because you can't say, I'm going to retire and do this. That is the other thing. No one who's that young can say how they're going to retire in the industry, because this industry will start taking you in so many different ways. You just never know. You never know. You think you're going to retire and say, I'm going to own this big salon, but you may end up creating a scrub that just takes off. And then you just end up owning this big body care, skincare line, and it's in Ulta, it's in Sephora, and you don't know. And so while you have an idea, the focus right now should be just becoming booked. Okay. I hope that answered or gave you some direction for right now. You said, preach, I'm uncomfortable right now. I have to do renovations, but I don't know where to start. This was a leap of faith. Right. Yeah, and that's where the growth comes. The growth comes in the uncomfortable moments. And so what I will say is, when it comes to renovations, don't go spending all of your money. That's another thing. Sometimes people get excited. I've done it myself, and they spend almost all their money. When it comes to renovations, there are ways around doing renovations to a space that is maybe very dated or, not what you hoped and planned. Number one, don't go doing walls and stuff like that. Do not bringing in contractors and stuff like that. If you're not making thousands of dollars, at least $1,500 or more a week, I would not be putting that type of money into that space. If you're trying to make sure I'm reading it right. I have to do renovations, but I don't know where to start. There are ways around it, such as walls that are looking dingy or whatever. You could always buy curtains. You could always put up the sheer curtains with the lights hanging down off of Amazon. Okay. You could always paint the wall pink or paint the wall baby blue or whatever, and then hang some sheer curtains across it. That's going to make it look very pretty and girly. Now, anybody who's looking through the curtains like, aha, I see a crack. That's a hater anyway. That's a hater anyway. And sometimes they just pop up. You can't do nothing about them. So that's the cheap way to do things. Also, I already said swapping out light fixtures is a way to make a place look more updated than it is. Light fixtures are very, very cheap. And so that's something you could do as well. You can really renovate a place and make it look like you did a whole bunch for really under $200. The place I moved into when I told you I moved back to Chicago and I just did Uber, that place needed renovations. I didn't have money to do that. So what I did was, my crazy butt, when you want it, you want it. My crazy butt pulled, like, it was like a wall, right? And then the bottom part of the wall was an ugly brown. So it was like a drywall, and then the bottom part was like wood paneling. It was so ugly. I was like, oh my God. Ugh. And I asked the landlord, can I paint over this? He was like, do whatever you want to do. Because he knew it was ugly, but it was cheap. I went to the store. I went to Menards and I bought some paint. I bought some black paint. I didn't paint the whole room because I cannot afford to paint the whole room. I had just took the biggest leap of faith ever. It was like insane. I bought quarts of paint. Y'all, you got to do what you got to do. One quart was like $7.96 or something like that. I would buy 1 quart of paint. And I would get up in the morning and I would go over to that space and I would paint a part of the wall black. I get emotional thinking about everything I went through because people just see the end results of people's success and they don't know the struggle. I would paint one part of the paneling black, one part, and whatever that quart would cover. And then I would market the crap out of myself online on Instagram 3-4 times a day. My clientele started growing. Then I would leave out, if I had clients that day, I would do the couple of clients. It may have only been one person. I'm going to leave out about 6 or 7 and go do Uber. If I had a couple extra dollars, I would go buy another quart in about 3 or 4 more days, and I would paint another section of the wall. Once I painted around the whole room, took about 2 weeks, I looked at the floor. The floor was commercial ugly paneling. Do you hear me? And you know that classroom paneling? I mean, that classroom tile. So I'm dealing with a wall that's drywall, ugly wood paneling, and commercial tile on the floor. So after I finished the wall with the $7 quarts of paint, then I said, I'm going to work on this floor. What can I do to the floor? I went back to Menards, talked to the people there, and took a picture of the floor. What can I do? And they taught me, you just clean the floor really good with this soap here to make sure it's, cleaned up and stripped of the what wax you can get off yourself. And then you paint it. So then I painted the floor, not black, but I painted it like a very dark gray. And I did the same exact thing. See, a lot of people don't go after their dreams because they get overwhelmed with having to have it all mapped out. And entrepreneurs leap out the plane and build the parachute on the way down. And so that's what I was doing. And so the same thing with the floor. I painted a section of the floor. And then, because at this point, I was believing in myself. I saw that it was a doable, achievable goal to make this place look better. And I hadn't even spent $100, okay? I had some old glitter. See, you don't have the answers right away. It will come to you. If you move, the universe will move. So I remember I had a big bag of glitter. So then what I did was I went back over it and I would paint a section and I started sprinkling the glitter. I just started throwing the glitter. And before you know it, I had did my own mosaic glittery floor. So now the room looked cute. And then I told you I could put posters up and different things, my price list and my polish, and it was fine. And I didn't worry about it no more because everybody wants to have this beautiful space and be at step Z. I worked with what I had and it did what it did for them. Okay. And that is where I built my clientele when I moved back here that I have to this very day. Okay. So you are in the right place at the right time. Hold on. You said you fell off of your marketing last month, so this is great advice. Good, 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 good. Glad I can help. I'm going to keep moving. Yeah, that's what I did. You said under $200 let you get on it. Yeah, I didn't even spend $100. I didn't even spend $100. Like you better pull up your sleeves and come up there early in the morning and start painting sections of that wall and put some curtains up and put some rugs on the floor from Five Below and maybe change out a light fixture and put some cute posters on the wall and be done. That's it. That's all. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. People will come work in your darn closet with you if you're good. So yeah. I have worked from home, nail salon and booth rental in a hair salon, but now on my own. I started in 2018. I'm looking to rent out my extra room. So it sounds like you know what you want to do. Now, how do we retire though when you've been doing it for some years? Because what happens is over time, like now my hands, they feel tight now. I keep saying it, my hands are starting to feel tight. I'm wondering, but it's not my bones, it's my muscles. It feels like my muscles and my hands are tight, like both hands. So I even pulled out, if you don't believe me, let's see. I even pulled this out. This is something I had got to kind of give my hand strength. And I found this and I've been kind of just sitting watching TV and squeezing this just to give my hands some strength. And I've been tightening it up, or whatever, because you got to think about it like long term. What do you do? What do you do? So Lexi said it. I started in 2018. I'm looking to rent out my extra room. So here's another example of how do you kind of, focus on expansion. And so if you're renting out one room, maybe that's something you might want to look into, because if you have one space and you want to rent out an extra room, okay, as you get older and you get more tired, you become more tired and weary, you can rent out your room, right? You can rent out your room, or you can reconstruct the place where it's like you have booths and then you have a room, or you can keep that place and you can go and get a bigger space and have rooms. You just never know. So the goal, depending on where you are in the industry, if your hands are breaking down, your back is breaking down, then you have to start to think about ways to come from behind that chair. You get what I'm saying? You have to think about ways to come from behind that chair. Now, you all already know that I always have to step away for a second because I'm a lady. So I'm going to let you watch this commercial and I'm going to get more into that in a minute. Hold on.
Now available at www.shecagobeautysource.com. Again, that's www.shecagobeautysource.com.
Give me 1 second, okay? You said work from home, nail salon, and booth rental. I started looking to rent out my extra room. Yeah, so when you want to come from behind that chair, so then you have to start thinking of ways, just like Holly Berry. Holly Berry's getting older, so she's trying to branch out and use all her little knowledge, to kind of see what can I do. What can I do? I'm gonna give you. I'm going to give you another example. We're going to just use Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, or we can use Rachel Ray, right? Rachel Ray was a chef, right? But now what is Ray? Rachel Ray went from being a chef, having her TV show, and now Rachel Ray, I believe, makes a great deal of her money from her cookware. Okay? Right? From her cookware. And that is how we have to think. We have to look at people who have been doing what they do, because part of the fear in being a beauty professional is not the unknown. Like, okay, that was money today. That was money this week. But what you have to do is step outside of it and look at everybody else who does not work a traditional 9 to 5. That's what I'm trying to say. Actors, let's say models, Tyra Banks. Let's use Tyra Banks. We'll come back to her. Models, boxers, football players, basketball players, NBA, NFL, NBA, all of them. Those people do not have traditional 9 to 5 jobs, yet they made it. We have to take a step back and say, how did they do that? Because they use all their experience and they know that their body is breaking down from doing what they do, and what they get paid to do is not going to last forever. Same thing with us. But most of them, let's take the NBA players. If you watch the TV show The Game, you know that was their whole thing. What are we going to do? Get endorsement deals. We're going to try to get you as an anchor or whatever. They were always strategizing because they know that they only have a limited time in the industry. So they become anchors. They become commentators. They do endorsements for vehicles and water and stuff like that, right? Let's go back to models. Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks knew she could not be a model forever. And so what did she do? She used her expertise. She used her experience, and she did what? She created America's Next Top Model. And so now, where does Tyra Banks' money come from? America's Next Top Model. When was the last time you seen Tyra Banks model? Never. She's just always showing people how to smize. Like that. I know I don't have it right. But you get what I'm saying? This is what we have to look at. So you're not going to know what your retirement looks like, but you do have to be the best at what you do. And you need to know every little detail you can about the industry. Like I was telling, I forgot the first person I did. I was telling you that even being an assistant, you don't see it today, but that's going to pay off into something bigger over time. You get it? So just think about it that way. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving around. If you have another question, let me know, but I'm going to keep moving around. Congratulations for taking that leap. Yep. Cece said the struggle can get real. And yes, it can get real. It is definitely real. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think Cece knows exactly how this is all going to end for her. But her situation is different from everybody else's situation. I'm not going to put it out there. I know it pretty much, the gist of it. But she's still doing what she has to do every day and to stay in the industry. I could tell you one of the things that she has done is that she's had to make it where she came out of 9 to 5 and made it the background. So one thing I can tell you is if you want to retire, the first thing you want to do is you have to move your main job to the background. So maybe you might have to step away from that job. You might have to do something you don't want to do because you have to be available to get into your craft. And when I say into it, you have to become like moderator. You have to become like really into it. You have to be an expert first. You have to be an expert. And a lot of us don't understand, like, you have to sit in your craft for years to understand what your real contribution to the industry is going to be. You don't know. You never know. I'm going to, let's see. I'm trying to think of someone else in the industry who we're going to say, I don't know. I can't think of anyone right now, but I'm just saying, like, if you really just sit back and think about it, there are so many people in this industry who do what they do. And if you look at them 20 years ago till now, They're in the industry, but they're definitely not doing the same thing they were doing 20 years ago. They are not. We cannot be behind the chair doing this forever. Most of us cannot. You can, but you're going to want to slow down. Like right now, I'm kind of like in a slow down period. I don't do people all day from sun up to sundown and all of that. I don't feel like it. I don't want to. And my patience is very short. That is true. So now I do other things. Let's take a look at me. Hello. I sell books. And just so you know, this book right now is on sale, the ebook and the hard copy, because there is all new material coming out. So I'm blowing this stuff out. The ebook and the hard copy is now 50% off. You don't have to do anything. It's just on sale. You should see it marked down at ShecagoBeautySource.com. I do books. I do courses. I have new course material. The first thing that will be coming up, hopefully within the next, I got to get it uploaded and everything, but that polishing video that I was talking about, that is coming up really, really soon. I've been trying to get a model in here, but that's been so hard. So what I decided to do is I bought a really good hand, and I'm just going to go crazy filming. I think you all want to see me actually doing nails. So I've decided I have all this space now. I have all this time because of COVID. I'm going to be going live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and just doing sets of nails. So anything you all want to see me do, we're going to try it together. I said there's nothing to do, so I'm just going to be online. Also, I have the polishing video coming up. As soon as that hand comes, I'm going to record it and get that uploaded. Also, something that's almost done, that's why I'm blowing this out, is I've been talking to you all about the pricing guide. So the ultimate pricing guide is almost done. It's about 60% done. So that's three things coming up. So I'm blowing out old material, but I'm pulling in new material. That's what I'm doing as a nail tech who's been in the industry on and off. Everything I've learned, all the little experiences that I have collected over the years from my corporate life, because yes, a lot of the things I know is from corporate, I'll have to give it credit. And from my career life as a nail tech, I'm putting it together in different ways. And I'm regurgitating that information out to you. I'm merging my corporate marketing experience and management experience, and I'm merging it into my experience on the floor. And so that right there is about 100 different things that I'm putting out. And that is part of my retirement plan in terms of not being behind the chair so much. You won't know exactly what that looks like for you until you go through it, because you could have been a person who, I don't know, became really good at pedicures, and you discovered all these different ways to do pedicures, and you started creating your own creams and butters and all of this stuff. So guess what? I'm just using this as an example. Over time, you may not see it right away, but you can create a class. You can start teaching classes, like doing the pedicures online, showing, you have your special certification. You become a medical technician. So now you're creating videos and courses on the medical pedicure and how to, I'm just throwing this out here. Okay. Don't quote me on it, but now you have a book out or a pamphlet out or ebook out saying, disorders of the nails and the skin as it relates to pedicures. You have a whole course set up for that. People sign up for that, but it all starts with setting yourself as an industry professional some type of way. You have to ride the journey to figure out what your place is in the industry. And once you become to a certain point, you become a professional at something. Okay. And then, like I said, this same pedicure specialist, now they have, on top of all of these classes, course, books, ebooks, they also have a whole line of creams and butters and stuff that are now available for sale. So now this person does a few select people that they do because they love what they do, but they are shifting their income over into more passive income from that. And also, you never know, just depending. Also, things like speaking engagements and things like that come about. And depending on how big you become, one speaking engagement alone can pay $2,500, $5,000, so you just never know. Okay. Yeah, you said you're struggling with figuring out what's next. And that's the problem. Figuring out what's next. Have you perfected where you are? Have you maximized the opportunity where you are, Lexi? So if you're saying what's next, wherever you are right now, are your books filled to capacity? Are you known for a certain thing? Like What's next? You can be kind of writing it out. I always keep a ton of journals and things around, but have you really graduated the level that you're on? Have you perfected what you do? And that in terms of like right now, I have not posted on my social media in over a year. I don't have to because I already have clientele. But I was thinking about posting again because I just want to see, like, oh, maybe I'll take on a few more people. But I know how to do it, and so I don't sweat it. But that's because I took so much time and focus on doing it where I can do it now with my eyes closed, so I don't stress it. So that's the thing that a lot of us kind of we kind of like play with, but we don't really push as hard. Like, are we living in the moment? Are we maximizing this moment, right? Right. Kim K started out as an assistant to the celebrities and morphed into a celebrity mogul. You see that? One opportunity presented itself into another opportunity, because you have to kind of ride the moment. So Kim K, great example, was an assistant, right? With a crooked nose. She was. Now look at her nose. Now look at her. Look at her. Totally different. You know? You know? You know? How many pages is the book? It may be better for me to save my paper and get the hard copy. The book is 100 pages. This book is 100 pages, but it's front and back color. That's also, it's a lot of color in this book. So if you wanted to get it now, I'm getting rid of the ones I have here because I don't even know if I'm going to order more hard copies because this was done back in 2000. When did I do this? 2019. This book was done in 2019. Yep. This is my ISBN number. So this was produced in 2019. So it's, to me, it's older, a little bit older information. So I'm like, I'm just going to get rid of the hard copy. So you can get the digital right away. And everything is half off right now. So yes, 100 pages. Yes, like the foot nanny, Oprah's pedicurist. You see that? And somebody might have seen this person, or they might have been somewhere and they say, hey, I know someone that you need to talk to. Go do this. And you go do that. And that person's like, I have someone. That's how I ended up doing this MBA, because opportunity was presented. I didn't even know how big it was going to be. And when I got there, I'm like, oh, wow, it just came out of nowhere. But I had to pay my dues. I guess that's what I'm saying. You got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues because you think your career is going one way. You keep going. It could take you someplace else. You just never know. You just never know. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I don't think it has to be this long drawn out thing. Was what I said helpful to anyone? Because I can tell you too, in terms of really retiring, let's go into this part here too, because this is in the book. This is like the last few pages of the book. One thing you also have to do when you are in it and you're doing everything, you're making your money and everything, as soon as you start to gather a consistent income, the next thing that you should be doing is setting up yourself just like you would a job. You need to be buying yourself some insurance. You need to be buying yourself some, you need to be, making sure you're paying your taxes. You need to be signing up for companies. Like, there are payroll companies that will take care of all of this for you. I've said this before, but it's been a minute. That's in the book. But I mean, like, there are companies who will set you up and take the taxes out for you. They will pull money for your retirement just like any other job. We don't have to work for somebody to have the same benefits as a job. You're just doing it yourself instead of having a company set it up for you. So those resources are available, and we have to think. A lot of people, the most successful people in the world are entrepreneurs. The people who make the most money in the world are entrepreneurs. And what you want is the freedom that they have, or that you think they have. You want that. And so you're letting things that are not an issue be an issue. You're letting things that are not an issue be an issue, because setting up your retirement is as easy as getting, what was that? My friend was telling me, she was like, you got to do your Roth IRA. Once you get your consistent income, you go in and you set up your Roth IRAs. You could do all of that yourself. You can start investing. I talked about this, investing and buying your stocks. You can buy your bonds. If you're scared of the stock market, buy your bonds. Start having so much deducted every week, every 2 weeks, and start doing those things. The question is, how consistent are you? Because it's possible for everyone. The reason why a lot of people don't do it is because they are afraid and they are not consistent. They start out on it, they get overwhelmed, they get overscared, and they put it to the side. And that's the only reason why it's not happening, because they're not doing it. The only reason why it's not happening is because they're not doing it. The only reason why nothing is happening is because they're not doing anything. And that is the truth. They did a little bit, usually the fun part of it, and the hard part that gets people uncomfortable and makes them feel uneasy. I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm going to do it next week. Maybe next year after baby graduate. Maybe next year after the other baby graduate. Maybe after this TV show go off. Then excuses come. And those are the people who don't do it because they let fear get the best of them. You said I haven't perfected and I still need to grow. I do most of my marketing and posting on Facebook just because of the town I'm in. So it's so small, that's all people use to find new businesses. Okay. And so are there any colleges there? What about the hospitals? What about the high schools? If you're in a small town and then most people go to Facebook, then what are your neighboring cities? You know, because it just depends. Like, you'd be surprised. See, how do you know people only use Facebook? How do you know people only use Facebook? Because most younger people I know use Instagram for shopping. That's in the book. People should go to Instagram to shop. And more recently, people go to TikTok. So TikTok reels are the thing. Now, if you are going to do it, what I would personally do is I would do TikTok and I would push my TikTok reels over to my Facebook. See, I tell you too, we got to make sure that we're killing. And this is a lot of work. I'm saying it like it's nothing, but trust me, I have a lot to do myself. I have 3, 1, 2, 3, plus this one, 4 notebooks and journals of stuff I need to get set up in this new year. And I know it's a big undertaking, but it has to be done. And so how do you know that's where people are finding it? Or we're assuming based off of the little bit that we see. Does it hurt to try other channels of social media? Does it hurt to maybe, if you're in a small town, maybe try the hospitals, the high schools? Not necessarily. If you don't want the students, what about the teachers? Like, why not? Why not just target people in the area? You can do that. If you're talking about Facebook and you do most of your marketing and posting on Facebook, when you say you do most of your marketing, what is your marketing looking like? Because sometimes you have to do paid marketing. So I got to be specific about that. Posting is marketing yourself, but sometimes you have to pay to market yourself. When I first moved into that space, when I was painting the wood and stuff myself, little by little, I was paying for my marketing. And that's why I'm telling you, like, it's very possible. We just have to really focus, because I would spend $7.98 or whatever on that can of paint. But I don't care what was going on. I told you this too. I would go spend $7 on a can of paint. I would buy a $10 ad on Instagram. And then I would, what was it? Something else I was pinching and doing. I was buying paint. I was doing Instagram ad. Oh, and I was buying, remember I was saying, I said this in other lives. If I had to, I would go all the way up north and buy 1 polish, 1 gel set, 2. I want to get at least 2 to 3 every week to build my collection. I did what I had to do at the time. And so if we put it in our heads like, oh, no, this is not going to work because this is this. What can you make happen today? So when you say marketing, are you doing paid marketing? So if you're not, that might be something that you want to do too. You need to do some paid ads. And I would suggest that you have an Instagram, run a paid ad and link it to Facebook. And really, you should be on TikTok too. So that's my other thing, because we are assuming some things, but try it out first, because you'd be surprised. Social media is changing and people are using it more than ever. And sometimes you got to pay. If you're not already, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I realize that most of my clients come from the towns around me. Right. I was saying that. What are the neighboring towns? You'd be surprised. I was about to say I'm surprised. My clients come from the towns around me, 20, 30 minutes away. Don't worry about being in a smaller town. People will drive for what they want. It's coming, girl. Yes, exactly. Try all these different things. If you have to, rewind this video and try these different things, because that is the key. The key right now is to master the moment. The key right now is to master the moment. And if you are in this situation, your focus right now should be learning how to master and stuffing your books to capacity in a small town. Because guess what? You never know what you're going to learn from this experience. You might be able to branch into something else and teach others something. We don't know what it is yet, but this is part of the journey into being a career professional in the beauty industry. Living in the moment, learning from the moment. It's a growing progression, and it makes you a professional, and you're not quite sure how it's going to play out, but I promise you it will. Also, she said, also a lot of older people are on Instagram and TikTok these days. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. Things are changing. Like it is, social media is the new TV. Just like TV. Let me go here. Back in the day, what was that thing? Morse code. That progressed into radio, right? Radio progressed into what? TV. TV now has progressed into what? Social media. So social media is the new TV. People don't really go on TV to find things. They go on their phone to find things. And older people are doing that. They are becoming more programmed to do it. So don't count them out yet. You never know. Just try these different things. Try expanding your social media and stuff. Yes, more paid. And when I say paid, don't think you have to spend a lot of money, because I'm telling you, $7 on the paint. I buy 3 gels, those $30. And then I might one week, when I was really doing something, I would buy a thing of paint, some paint for the floor. I would go there and buy 2 or 3 bottles of gel polish. And then, I would do my $10, $20, as I started getting people. This is what I did. $20 on ads. And then the month later, $40 on ads. I'm telling you, that's how I rebuilt my clientele quick. So I know how to do that like the back of my hand. I will tell you this. Things have changed, and they're changing fast, y'all. They are really changing fast. And that's one of the reasons why I want to put out new information, newer information. This is a social media groundwork, but I'm putting out a calendar, a social media planning calendar. You all tell me if these are things you want. They are already in the works. Social media planning calendar, a pricing guide that's already 60% done, a straight up polishing video. Those are 3 of the things done. Oh, I have a whole list, but the rest of it is on his phone. Things are changing. Social media is changing so fast. We have to keep up with it. We have to, because how are we going to go into the future if we're not up on what the trends are? People in the beauty industry, we have to be on the trends. And I'm a little overwhelmed because TikTok, you got to kind of learn it. I've been playing around with it, but I have to do it because people are doing link trees, and linking all their stuff up there. Everybody's building websites and stuff. So you have to kind of stay ahead of the 8 ball. You have to stay ahead of it. That's part of it too. If you're not in touch and in tune with where your potential clients are, you will not probably see your clientele grow fast. That is key to staying in this industry, because how will they find you? Nowadays, it's like, it's part of your job. Just like keeping up on top of the latest colors, we have to keep up on where the clients are. It was Instagram, and guess what? Now it's really over at TikTok. Believe it or not, I promise you. My clients are definitely the older crowd now, and I'm okay with that because it's not stressful. I agree. Short and natural nails. Oh, okay. So if that's the case, then how old are you? Again, if that's the case, then you should be in your small town, at the schools, at the churches, the traditional stuff. If you have older people, and Facebook would work too. But really, I'm going to tell you, if your clientele is 40 and over, they still appreciate a hard business card or a flyer. They do. And all the beauty supply stores, ask them if you could put some flyers at the front desk or something. What you do is you go in there and you buy something first. Don't buy something little. Like next time you need to go to the beauty supply store, get your stock, your shampoo, your conditioner, all that. And then when you get to the front, hello, how are you? Yeah, I do nails. Can I leave a few flyers up there? And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, put them right there. You get it like that, and just do that every week. Every week, if you could tape one up, that'd be good too. And then, just keep doing that if you want that older clientele. 32. Okay. Yep. Short acrylic or natural nails. Yep. That's what you can do. But I still say go to Instagram, and because Instagram links to Facebook. So get both. Why wouldn't you get both? If you're going to pay to market on Facebook, why wouldn't you take advantage of everything that you get? with that post. Like if you're going to pay to advertise, take every opportunity, click this button. Y'all want to advertise here, 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 here. Yep. $20, activate. So yeah. So I hope I help some people to understand that really you have to lay the groundwork now, and all the little things that you learn now help you as you go along your journey, and you be surprised. Your expertise can turn into a product line. Your expertise can turn into an educator. Your expertise can turn into you could have like major salons everywhere, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, but you have to kind of get into your career hardcore to really see where you're going. I thought that my path was salons. I don't like owning salons. I've had spaces 2 times. I don't want to own another one. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Hell, I'm a landlord now and don't want to be one. So kind of, but kind of not. You know I don't want to own a salon. And I thought in my head, I'm going to own salons. And then, most people think that. And it's not for everybody. It's not for me. And so, you just don't know. Don't focus. Don't stress yourself on that. Just get into today, get into now, and perfect today, perfect now. And so I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over and over and over. I think I'm done. Are there any other, let's see, are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Yeah. So that, yeah, especially at that age, at 32, that's the age when you got to hunker down and really just be like, okay, if this is what I'm going to do, I got to go hard and try everything day and night. I will be posting. I will run an ad every single week. I will run an ad for 3 days, and I will run it if it does well, run it for 10 days or run 14 days, then maybe switch it up and do a new one. Same thing over and over and over, and posting my work all day, every day. All day, every day. You'll see a difference. And also, if anyone wants a consultation, I do one-on-one consultations in 30-minute increments at ShecagoBeautySource.com under education. I want to let you know this book doing like a blowout sale, 50% off on the hard copy or digital copy. New content is coming really soon. The first thing that will be out is probably going to be the polishing video or the pricing guide. One of the two will be out super soon, super soon. You said, I really appreciate you and all you put out here for everyone. And my box has been so much fun. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, Tara Toodles. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh, I need to get on here. Oh, I need to get on here. But whew, I have like a million projects at all times going on. And I have been working on this stuff. Like I'm on the computer 3 in the morning, like designing pages and stuff. So trust me, I'm not just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. So you can't wait for the videos. Yes, that polishing video is going to be good, because I'm going to tell you, you should really be able to pick up a bead of polish and be able to polish that nail. But so many of us in a rush. So I'm going to show you the theory behind polishing professionally in a high-end spa and what they're looking for, and have flawless polish that lasts a long time. And if you are licensed, that is another job that you can definitely get, because it's big money in these spas, especially after the pandemic breaks and things get back to normal. Those jobs are going to become available. Let's think about it, because people are going to be frantic to get outside and go on vacation. So all the hotels are going to be packed. All the resorts, everything, the carnival cruises, everything are going to be packed. When this thing is over, people are going to want to be outside spending money. I stopped shopping because it's like, when I go outside, I'm pulling tags off of everything. It's like, I just stopped shopping. At the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was shopping. Everybody was shopping because there was nothing else to do. They wanted to feel some sort of normalcy, so they were shopping. Now people are exhausted because we are in year 3 of this crap, and they are just sitting here like anxious. So when things open back up, they are going to want to spend their money. They're going to want to do all the things they couldn't do before. They're going to upgrade me, give me the wax, give me the this, give me the diamonds. They are. And so be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Yes. Oh, you said I'm living for the foot spray from your big box. You like the spray? I'm telling you. She's talking about that spray for the bottom of the foot. I'm telling you, it breaks it down, and it has antibacterial properties, and it's not going to irritate you, because that what's that other one, that slimy stuff that makes my heels crack. It's too strong for me. This acid. This is non-acidic. So I'm so glad you like it. Yes. She is a great mentor. I'm so grateful for this channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm trying, y'all. And everything I'm telling you, I'm trying to get it together too. I just have too much to do. And that's my problem. That's my problem. I know. I know. I'm getting way better. Way better at organizing my time. I try to do too much, and that's my problem. But I'm getting way better. So now that I've moved, I'm pretty much settled. I plan on being here. I ordered a camera stand, so you will literally be looking face down at me while I'm working. I'm going to be going live. What do you all think about this? You all have never seen me really do nails. You've seen me with a client working, talking across like this, but what I'm going to be doing is, now I have a mannequin hand. I don't have to wait on a live person. I'm going to be working on this mannequin hand. We're going to be doing all type of stuff, just playing around in acrylic and all of that whenever I feel like it. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time with 2 different phones, turned face down with me working. Doing things that I probably never did before. We'll try it out together. So that's it. I feel like I'm talking you to death. I really appreciate you all. I am going to catch you all in the next video. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.